Walkman Thomas Queens. Can you please confirm that you just rebuffed 400k, please? Thank you. Cash game is being played in the Triton Million event in London, 2019.
Okay. Live. Am decis de data asta să vă pun și un match între profesioniști în Londra. Jocurile cu 200.000 de lire intrare.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with another episode of High Stakes Action from Mayfair, London. My name is Lex Veldhuis, and this is the Triton High Stakes Circuit. Alright, it looks like they bumped up the stakes. Last episode we were playing 2,000, 4,000 pounds. Looks like they either added a straddle and possibly some antes. We'll find out soon. My best guess is that this game now is 2,000, 4,000, 8,000 straddle with a 4,000 big blind ante. Straddle might be optional. And already 60,000 pounds just going to the flop, single raised pot. That would be a straight. Pretty nice flop. I love that he checks this. A lot of pre-flop raises when they have a hand like ace king, ace queen, they will give up on this flop. Tom Dwan might be really tempted to take a stab at this at any point to take this away. This card is a disaster for him. I'm gonna be very happy with that. Shanghai Wong bets the pot. 58,000 pounds. This is what a straddle can do to a game, ladies and gentlemen. The action just explodes sometimes. So much out there to fight for in debt money. Dwan is 270,000 total in his stack. He's gonna go all in. Doesn't want to face a tough river decision when there would be a bad card. Shanghai Wong just wants to make sure how much it is, but can't see him going anywhere.
Huh? How much? 400. Okay. Open. Quick.
Dwan a little bit surprised that it took a little bit for Shanghai Wong to call there.
Oh, 抢钱的是吧 How much? How much? 操你妈！
Yeah, no bad intent there from Shanghai Wong. Tom Dwan takes it very well, of course.
小盲不是3B，open。抢钱的嘛。小盲怎么 open 呢 ？400。小盲怎么不能 open 呢？都放光了，小盲怎么不能 open 呢？他是大盲，他是 straddle 了，他是 straddle。对
So, massive pot there for Shanghai Wang, our biggest pot so far in this cash game. He's doing very well for himself. Off to a great start. Tom Dwan in for another 400,000 pounds. And there we see the blind levels updated. 2,000, 4,000, 4,000. Missed a big blind pays the ante. Change we've seen over the last few years in poker. Makes the game much faster. Doesn't really change much about the game. Instead of the dealer having to ask everybody, ante please, ante please.
He tanked.
Huh?
He tanked. 4-5.
What was the flop?
6, 7, 8.
4-5 he tank?
King Queen.
Insult to injury, a Walkman, Thomas Queens. Can you please confirm that you just rebuff 400k, please? Thank you.
Tony Ma.
Cash game is being played on the Triton Million event in London, 2019. This cash game is sponsored by Les Ambassadeurs. Ooh, we see Mr. Liang there. Taking it slow with 2 kings. Wai Kin Yong with a very powerful hand himself. And the ace-10 of diamonds. Very tricky. I like what Mr. Liang is thinking there. I mean, there's so many aggressive players at the table. We have the likes of Tan Xuan, Tom Dwan behind you. They're gonna be licking their chops when they see a raise and a call in front of them. That doesn't change anything. Gonna make Mr. Liang feel even more secure. No straight cards on board. Counterfeits 8-7. It's pretty unlikely Wai Kin has a 5 or would bet it on the flop. So he's gonna be feeling pretty good. Wai Kin knows that if Mr. Liang had anything on the flop to call with, that 5 doesn't really increase his chances of getting a fold, so he's gonna be giving up here. At least slow down the betting. There's a chance he'll check call, but doesn't do it. It's a nice respect show there for Mr. Liang. I love the amount of needling in these games. You see people lose hundreds of thousands in a hand, but people know the game is the game. But it doesn't mean we can have fun and laugh at our friends while it's happening. Here we see it, Shanghai Wang up to 750,000, in for 400, so almost doubled his stack. So we see Tom limping in the cutoff here. Interesting spot. Wai Kin knows that Elton is gonna abuse his position here since he is on a button. Best position in the game. And Wai Kin probably believes that he straight up has the best hand here. You'll definitely see situations where Ace-10 is being used as a bluff, but I don't think this is one of those times. Also just wanted to make sure that that was Mr. Liang's stack.
For this, I don't want for this. Match aici, foarte frumos. V-am zis, ăștia, chinezii ăștia sunt jucători de...
These guys are not tanking in these situations to save face. There you go. He wants to see the flop. He is in trouble though.
Fără frică. Și sunt și milionari ce-or fi.
Well,
Au o grămadă de
both players with a piece there. Elton's drawing very slim. Of course, if he hits the 10, his opponent makes a bigger 2 pair. So he's dead to a queen. Looks like that's a very small bet. 30,000. I like that bet. These high boards are so strong. When you put in a lot of action before the flop, no reason to bet big. It's nice to bet small because your bluffs become more cheap, and at the same time, when you do have a strong hand, you get paid easier, so it works both ways.
A intrat, s-a început meciul și a pierdut în primele mâini toți banii.
Elton's just gonna raise. I wonder if he just wants to get the money in because Wykin doesn't have that much behind. There are 2 diamonds on the flop. There is a chance one of these guys could put the other on the flush draw. Yeah, there he goes. He's all in. Yeah, it's about 85,000 more. 95,000. I like that Tom wants to see. That just shows the familiarity that these guys have with each other. I mean, how often do you lean over to sweat your opponent's cards with them while they're in a big pot? Yeah, Elton got himself into a pickle here. Last episode we saw Elton turn a hand into a bluff as well. He does call.
没追？什么还没追嘛？这不是2个单？
Wykin is going to be incredibly happy here. Really backed himself into a corner, Elton saying, and it's going to cost him, unless he has a queen. Some chop outs now as well, of course.
Go! Take 1 seat. Go!
No dice. They ran at once. 470,000 pound pot there for Wykin Young. Elton not going to be happy with that one. Tom seems excited.
Raise. All in. Call.
我还是比较信任的，信任班底。
That's the thumbs up from Tan Xuan. Can appreciate a nice big pot. Wykin Young on the button this time. Very next hand. Yes, ace king. Bench win, 600k. It's a big move against the owned one last time with the queen 6. It's an excellent hand for this situation. If you flop a 3, you're pretty much golden. And if you don't flop a 3, it's very easy to get away from the hand. It's very hard to actually kind of drown in a pot. No, it's really triggering me that the dealer is not putting the cards in the box. How can you put them on the line? Viking, of course, is going to be pretty pleased with this. Very draw heavy board though. Definitely some possible danger out there. I'm just not even going to say anymore that this is going to get a quick fold or that it's just going to be over and out from here. I mean, the things we see in these games, the bluffs people try to pull. I'll just wait and see what happens. Not this time.
Mai informație cine de.
See if he's going for the 3-pit there. It's 2 quick folds. Don't think he's gonna get through 10-1 that easily. I like the check there from Wyke and Young. Very little he can get called by. Of course, 10-1, not the easiest to fool. Ooh. There's another added benefit of checking the hand through. Only 3,000s. Now, Wyken is not afraid of losing this hand. Question is, does he want to open up the action by raising and getting some thin value from exactly the hand that 10-1 has? Sometimes it can be very scary opening the door against the player with caliber of 10-1, and he is just gonna call. Yeah, Wyken saying that maybe he should have raised. 10-1 and making a little bit of fun of him. Lovely poker room. Like you're in a castle. This is what a Louis XIV's home game looked like, I think. Mr. Liang, suited ace. Good enough from any position. I love how often Shanghai Wong re-raises. Makes for such fun pots. 29.
As 3 rond.
That's better. Alright, nice. We see a middle pair with a good kicker for Mr. 3-better Shanghai Wong. Mr. Liang flops the nut flush draw. Fantastic board for him. Guys have about 85 big blinds behind. Ooh, Shanghai Wong decides to take it easy. He's gonna be very pleased to see that king. Once the king pairs on board, it's less likely your opponent has one. His ace-jack is gonna be looking a little bit better here for him, but little does he know, Mr. Liang makes a nut flush. This is definitely an action card. Ooh, small bet for Mr. Liang. Might save Shanghai Wong a little bit. Yeah, pot stays small. I think it's time to bring out the big guns. $65, I like the bet size.
Siguranza aiuta.
It's so hard to get away from this once you've checked the flop behind. Check the flop behind. You call a small bet on a turn. Yeah, what can you do? He's right. Can't really do much about that. Even though the spot got up to 240. Yeah, what can you... It's so hard to get away from this once you've checked the flop behind. Check the flop behind. You call a small bet on a turn. Yeah, what can you do? He's right. You can't really do much about that. Even though the spot got up to 240,000 pounds, I think Shanghai Wong got off pretty cheap there. If you show a lot of weakness, most of the time you have to follow through, because people will respond to that weakness and try and bluff you. I got Wong still with quite some profits after the hand against one. He's on the receiving end of a re-raise now. Bench went on the button with a strong ace. Elton sang in the big blinds. Pocket jacks. Those are about 100 big blinds deep, 400,000 pounds. $129,000. These guys are so aggressive, and Dan Schwen knows his reputation. He knows that he's very aggressive, that he likes to bluff a lot, that he likes to put a lot of pressure. One player is bluff a lot, and people push back. It's very easy to get a little bit paranoid that they just don't really respect your raise, and that's why they're making a move. Especially having that ace in your hand, it just decreases the chance of running into ace king, ace queen, and aces, of course. I really wouldn't be surprised if Dan Schwen decides to go with his hand, but he's gonna see a flop. He's in position. Elton fishing for some info. Elton can't be too unhappy with that board. But Dan Schwen, he's got a piece on this as well. He knows that Elton is very likely to go all in with ace king as well if he were to have that hand. 2 overs in a gut shot, you have about a pot size all in bet. I think Elton's going to be feeling pretty good about his hand now. He knows that Dan Schwen doesn't have 3 of a kind, and if Dan Schwen had a queen, he probably would have called already. You can't call a 4-bet before the flop top pair and then consider folding. Yeah, he makes the call. What a spot for Elton Sang here. Running it twice means that you need to win both runs to win the whole pot. If you win one of the 2 runs, you get half the pot.
1 time, 2 time. 2 times?
Very common practice this in big high stakes cash games, even online. Right, so first run is for Elton Sang. Dan Schwen needs a king. Doesn't do it. Elton Sang wins it all. 800,000 pound pot, biggest pot of the night.
He re-raise, he re-raise.
Yeah, nice spot there for Elton Sang.
They do one. Don't do one.
Nice flop there for Dwan. Yep. It's it done. Just nice, like Queen Jack matches up well with the 10, you can make some runner straights, you can make a runner flush with the Queen of Clubs, it's just nice spot to bet, you're gonna take that flop down so
Come on.
often.
Don't do double that.
Cash game took place in Mayfair, London, sponsored by Les Ambassadeurs. Just nice, like Queen Jack matches up well with the 10, you can make some runner straights, you can make a runner flush with the Queen of Clubs, it's just nice spot to bet, you're gonna take that flop down so often. Cash game took place in Mayfair, London, sponsored by Les Ambassadeurs. We have much more action for you guys in this high stakes cash game. Also, a short deck cash game upcoming. Find everything, all the cash games on the Triton YouTube.
No, just not a usually. And do what usually.
All highlights of tournaments there as well. Elton taking matters into his own hand here. Because this flop is good enough for jacks.
Oh no, bring jack, two jacks.
Tom is gonna peel. Probably thinks one of his overcards might be good as well. Of course, with a 6 he makes the nuts. What a beautiful card there for Elton.
Such a lead.
One of those slightly awkward spots now for Elton after blowing up the pot on the flop. Tom almost has 2 times pot left, so you can't really go all in. If you bet 90,000 to set up a river shove or to just protect your hand or get value, if your opponent were to go all in, you're in a very nasty situation. Betting quite big here. That's the face of a man that's gonna fold. Always annoying. You hope that your opponent is making a move on the flop. That you get one of those checks on the turn, you just get to stab at it on the river, take it down. But shots on the flop, very underrated by a lot of people. They will hit about 18% of the time if you flop one. I mean, with having 2 overcards that you think are going to be good some of the time, good shots are definitely worth fighting for in deep stacked games. Wyken again with a button re-raise. Henchman again with a very nice low pair. Very easy to just call these re-raises. Flop's the best of it, but can't be too pleased with that flop. Then again, Wyken has something to figure out here as well. He is gonna go for a bet. Definitely represents a lot of hands around that queen. I like that he takes a small stab at it. Henchman can definitely have a lot of hands that connect with this board, but by betting small, it's like, okay, if you have one of those hands, that's fine. If you don't, I'm just gonna get folds. But Henchman sniffs this one out, makes the call. Neither player are gonna be happy with that card. But I think this is a little bit harder on Wyken Young. That card is gonna be so good so often for Ten Chuan. Wow. This is a really good second barrel here. It's a very hard bet to make. It's a very scary card for him on the turn there. He gets rid of Ten Chuan's hands. Nice aggression there from Wyken Young. Very scary turn, but he read the situation correctly. These two guys, of course, also have so much history together. This could really come down to a similar situation where Wyken played the nuts like that just a few days ago. Guys play all the time, we just happen to have cameras on it this time. Wyken Young doing very well for himself. Up over 200,000 pounds. Let's see if Shanghai Wang continues a trend of re-raising with these type of hands. Mix is 47,000. These guys are really deep. Both guys have won pretty big pots.
Except I can't wear a pot. Except I can't wear a pot.
Right, so Wyken Young takes it slow. Just to give Shanghai Wang the option to keep bluffing if he were to bluff. Sometimes with queens you get in these situations where if you raise, you keep all their good hands in, and then when the pot gets too big, all of a sudden you're not too happy with your queens. And when you should be happy with your queens, it just folds, so tries to stay out of that situation. Makes a small bet, tries to lure some ace highs in. Doesn't get it done. Good discipline by Shanghai Wang not to bet on that flop.
要跟你们冠军学习。
OK，你这是个牌。
对呀。
啊？
The stakes were playing 2,000, 4,000 with 4,000 ante,
发哪个牌？
all in pounds.
一个3倍的比一下，发个5；一个5比一下，倍的比一下，发个3，他妈的上头。面也是啊，抓鸡都抓不了。
Right, Shanghai Wang takes a small one.
Da, meci frumos, na.
Stakes are getting very deep here now. Viking Yong with 700. Shanghai Wang with 600. Elton Sang has a mountain of chips. There we see it, 850,000 pounds now for Elton Sang. Good flop there for Shanghai Wang. Elton not ready to let go. He thinks that Shanghai Wang would bet this flop regardless of his holding. If he had Jack 10, seems like a good moment to steal. Shanghai Wang really pretending like he has exactly one of those hands.
SD 没上是吗？有个位。SD 嘛。没人呐。
Kind of like this check on the river by Shanghai Wang.
SD 可以打的嘛？
Flush gets there, one of the straights gets there, but if you check the turn, it's going to be sometimes very likely that you have one pair. So if you go for a little value bet there on the river, guys like Elton might just put you to the test and make a big check raise.
可以打，
可以打啊。
不是给 Robo， 是给 Robo 的朋友。哦。但是我觉得他们不会来的，来的早就来了。早就。
Robo 嘛。
Massive event. The Triton Million. Of course, we all know Aaron Zhang won the tournament.
Eh, 把事情搞大一点。
Cărzatem 4-7, 3-2.
Massive score for him. He cashed for 13.5 million pounds. $16.5 million. I think Kenny actually took home $20 million in that tournament. Made a deal before heads up started, leaving for the winner, of course.
Yep.
John Dolan iară e la comandul.
给你拿一次圈好了，给你拿一次圈好了。
Viking Young won the main event there. Actually, beat Paul Poix heads up. The person he took over the seat from in this cash game. Mike and Young took it down for 3 million. Antoine hasn't been able to make a whole lot happen. There's some pretty tough spots. That king on a turn against Shanghai Wang was really unfortunate. Straddle pot as well. The only straddle pot we've seen so far. See him flop best here.
Da, mă, văd la american cum e rock. Că New York are mai mulți morți decât are toate țările. Numai New York este. Și îngroapă la grămadă comun. Eu. 100 și ceva de... Da. Am doi inovați. Tocmai la americani care...
24,000 from Elton. Is a double gut shot now. Can make a straight with an 8 or a queen. I think he'll be confident that Jack or 10 might be good too. There's the 8s. A bad run out for Tom Dwan once more.
不过拍得很长呀，对吧？在济州岛也拍一会儿，3个小时，3个小时，4个小时，拍3次4个小时。你时间太短的话，它做不了一个剪辑啊，是吧？它里面要剪啊，11点嘛。
Overbets the pot. It's not a great run out for Tom, but it's still hard to put Elton on a hand that hits a straight on the river. It's a big chance in Tom's mind. This is a king or nothing. Some pocket 9s, pocket 8s in there too, of course. Oh, he knows Elton is capable of anything. Yeah, gets rid of it. Great run out there for Elton. But who knows, maybe if the 8 didn't hit he would have been able to pull off the same, but then as a bluff, you just never know.
Straddle one for you guys.
We'd love to see that. We're playing 2,000, 4,000, 8,000. Straddle counts as a live blind, so if it falls around to Elton Sang, he does have the option of doing anything. And Schwen thinks, Dwan is running so bad, I need to get away from this guy.
说谁打呀？我是说谁打？
哎，我坐这里啊，坐这里。没有，我坐这里。
另外还有谁啊？我不知道。澳门还可以。
900,000 pounds exactly there
直到澳门一打
for
开了。
Mr. Tang.
直到澳门一打开了。多大？澳门会有刚才3.9都开。多大？啊，最少100-200万一个。
和龙龙是吧？
可龙龙啊，龙龙不能装吧？还不是个龙龙。
龙龙还有出现在澳门。
Mr. Liang here. How boss is that to just be called Mr. Liang by everyone? Bench one again. Gets lots of small pocket pairs. No success so far. Well, that's the best of it again, but not the best board. Pre-flop razor checks though, that does open up a possibility for him, just to bet some protection. Gets rid of the most dangerous player on this board. Big blind's gonna connect with a lot of different hands. It's unlikely Mr. Liang has a hand like 10-7 or 7-6 from early position, but for sure that Elton Sang would have those, so definitely not a bad situation for him. People are very tempted to just call with ace highs, rightfully so, on boards like this. Both players turn a straight draw as well. A little bit of an optimistic straight draw for Mr. Liang. What I like about this bet from 10-1 is that it's very small, so it's definitely not a bluff. Like, he thinks that for this size, if he gets called, he's gonna be good quite often. The nice thing at the same time, he freezes the river action, because he had the initiative on the turn. It's very likely that Mr. Liang, whatever the river is, will check to him. So he just gets to check behind, so he gets some money in against the weaker hands. He doesn't lose that much against stronger hands. Let's say Mr. Liang has queen 8. He probably would have bet bigger than 18,000 himself on the river, so the bet works against pretty much everything in a positive way. Still some equity there for Mr. Liang, but it's actually 10-1 who makes a straight on the river. So plans are going to change. He's definitely going to go for some sort of value bet here. There he does it. This is a very tough call for Mr. Liang. He's not going to do it. That gets us to the end of the second episode of this amazing cash game here from London. My name is Lex Veldhuis. I will see you guys next time for more action on the Triton Poker Tour. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with another episode of High Stakes Action from Mayfair, London. My name is Lex Veldhuis, and this is the Triton High Stakes Circuit.
For entry on the big one.
Alright, it looks like they bumped up the stakes. Last episode we were playing 2,000, 4,000 pounds. Looks like they either added a straddle and possibly some antes.